Hi and welcome to Scott's Inverts. I'm Scott, and in today's video you're definitely going to see an invert because this is a basic terrestrial tarantula setup. So this video is aimed more at the new people into the hobby, but if you've been in the hobby a little while and you want to drop down into the comments any hints or tips for other people to read, that would be really fantastic of you. And if you're new here, remember to hit that subscription button. So today we're actually going to be rehousing the Grammostolia rosea, which we were given a little while ago. Dark colour form, still looks absolutely beautiful, the ex-porteri. Now these spiders, they don't want it overly damp. They are from a dry area of the world, indeed Mexico, but I also want to prove in today's video that we can keep them without buying really expensive enclosures or fancy substrates or amazing bits of decor that absolutely cost an arm and a leg. So we're going to be using this baroplastic tub, which is a 20-litre storage box from B&M. We've gone ahead and we've put drill holes in the ends and on the lid. Now when we've done those drill holes, we've also gone back and removed any of the little bits of plastic that kind of accumulate either side of those holes as well as. So without further ado, let's go over and rehouse and build this. Just come on. So here's our 20-litre container, which is perfectly fine for any of the Grammostolia adults. And we are going in with the substrate. I'm actually doing it on the floor in my front room again, just to show you guys that you don't need to have a special table or a building or anything. We can do these wherever in our own home. Now that substrate there is the easiest substrate you'll find, which is cocoa fibre. Now with cocoa fibre, I only ever use it for drier species. So those tarantulas that like it drier, that's the only time I use cocoa fibre, because if cocoa fibre stays damp for a little while, it tends to grow mould and those dreaded mushrooms. But for today's video, we are rehousing a Grammostolia. They like it a little bit drier, so cocoa fibre is absolutely fine. And what I do is I go in and I fill up around 1.5 inches of substrate, and then I take my hand and I start squashing it down ever so slightly. Now we don't want to go crazy when we do it, we just want to tamper it down very gentle, literally like you're patting a dog's head. So just enough so that it knows you're there, but not enough to cause any damage. And I'm going to do that for every time I fill it up by 1.5 inches. Just go back in there and again give it a little tap down. There's little bits of dry, don't worry about that. This is a dry species. And again, if you do have a terrestrial which likes it nice and damp, Irish peat moss is a much better option when we're looking at substrates. But today we're keeping it simple. We've got the Grammostolia rosea, or the ex-porteri, in here, and that's what we're going to be setting up. So again, bit more substrate, want to get about 4.5 to 5 inches of substrate in there, and then we're ready for the next step. Now with that top layer, what I like to do is just leave a little bit on the top, a little bit loose, just so the spider can kind of feel a bit more at home, a bit more like a natural environment. Now we all have woodlands near us or places where we can get a little bit of moss. That's what I've done here, and I've just let this little bit dry out, and I'm going to put it in there again because it's a drier species. I just thought maybe it might feel a little bit more at home with some dry moss around, just something a little bit different in there, as well as a substrate. Something highly important is a water dish. Now this water dish is a 2 inch across, so 2 inch from one side directly to the other water dish. And what I'm going to do is overfill it every 2 weeks. And what I mean by overfilling it is the same amount of water that it holds, I'm going to allow that amount of water to actually come up and over the sides and soak into that corner. So it gets a similar kind of humidity process like it would in the wild. Now for a hide, we don't have to go too expensive. That piece is literally just a piece of cork bark, which is absolutely fine, and we just want to push it just slightly into the substrate and then dig a small little area out underneath it, make it a little bit easier for our tarantula to get in there. Now I found this one out. This is one of what they use for reptiles as well, but again as long as it's got that cylindrical shape with an open bottom, which is highly important, we're all good to go. Now, the reason we need those open bottoms is because the spider will actually move the substrate from around the bottom of its hide, making it nice and cozy and snug and making it its home. And that is it. That is as simple terrestrial setup as we need to go. Now, we caught this one a little bit earlier in my protein tub, but if you want to know how to catch cup tarantulas, I can always do a video on that as well, so let me know down in those comments and we'll have a look at docile, intermediate and then more advanced ones and how we do that. But there is our Grammostolia rosea, dark colour form, the exporteri, looking absolutely beautiful. And these are a drier species and she is going straight for that water dish. She is absolutely stunning. I mean, look at her. Absolutely beautiful. And indeed, she goes in and has a good drink. Absolutely amazing. Again, Grammostolia rosea, you got the red colour form. This is the dark colour form. Exporteri. But how simple is that, and how easy is that, and how much money are we saving as opposed to buying a fancier enclosure? Absolutely perfect. Just keep it simple. Boom! Told you it was simple. Told you it was easy. Told you it was cheap. So going forward, if we can keep tarantulas in cost-effective enclosures within our budgets, what that does is it allows us to buy more tarantulas. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, we shall see you again on the next one.